Hey guys, what's going on? Vantage Live number 7, May 14th, 2020. Um, just going to kind of go over what we're kind of leaning towards. I guess it's going to be a live discussion um, about what we're kind of leaning towards for the future of Vantage, the brand, all that good stuff. Wanna wanna give a quick shout out to everybody that's come in, purchased masks, businesses and individuals. We've been going through masks like crazy. I know we did, I think about 500 of the 2-ply black ones. Those are gone. I have another order coming in. I do believe tomorrow. We're starting to run low on the white ones, so I'm gonna have to reorder those. Businesses, if you need masks, please let us know. We do custom printing on those. Um, and yeah, it's just a minimum of 25. Um, but yeah, we'll kind of get into this. We'll wait for Bailey to get back.
Back.
Cool. So let's kind of get started here. With this whole COVID-19 thing, I guess we kind of have changed some things around with just the business side and the brand in general, making things a little bit different for us. But I think it's making things a lot smoother, a lot easier, especially with new clients and stuff. The way we interact with them, sending quotes and proofs and all that good stuff. We switched over to I guess a service called Printavo. They are more um, geared towards like the screen printing and all that stuff, and it's been a huge help um, keeping us organized and all that good stuff. We're pretty much going paperless to where we don't do any more paper forms. The only thing that we really print out on paper are invoices. So that's awesome. Good for the environment. But yeah, I guess we'll start talking about this whole brand thing moving forward. If you guys don't know, I know most of you do. A lot of you guys have tuned in uh, for the past few weeks. We're a Vantage Brand company. We do screen printing, sublimation, embroidery, and we can do banners and stickers and pretty much anything that you can think of. We're starting to kind of notice that a lot of you guys have tuned in.
What's that?
You, Bailey?
Yep. Sorry.
No, all good. But yeah, we've kind of noticed that the stuff that we do have in store isn't really moving. I know with the whole COVID-19 thing, people can't really shop and stuff, but it's been kind of an open conversation with all three of us and how we kind of want to move forward with all that. Out of you guys that are tuning in, I mean, do many of you know that we actually have some items here that you can actually walk in and buy? Do you know that we do that, or do you think that we're just like a print shop? Please let us know in the comments below on our Vantage page. We just kind of want to see the feedback with all that stuff. So just kind of seeing where everybody or who thinks what we are, I guess, if that makes sense. I have no idea.
Yeah, I want to throw it too because you didn't mention it in like listing what we do also with the sports uniform sales. Obviously, we're designing all sorts of sports uniforms. It's like we do those as well. We make those as well. So
yeah, definitely. That is one thing that I did leave out. You know, we do custom baseball uniforms that is dyed right into the fabric. Most of you may not know that we actually started in the wrestling market doing all of the wrestling singlets, warm-ups, and all that good stuff. That's how we got our start. But then we're moving into baseball and basketball and did some football, cross country. I mean, we've done quite a bit so far. So, but yeah, I mean, what do you guys think? You know, as far as the brand like moving forward, what do you think? You know, we should be aiming towards.
Yeah. Just kind of leave your comments. Just kind of going into what what I think, I guess the business should kind of aim towards, and we've been talking about this kind of for the past week or so, is like we kind of want it to be, I don't know, we're all designers and we all love good design. And, today just kind of sitting around the office, our screen printer said like, oh my God, it's so different, you know, designing for design and then designing to print a t-shirt, to where it's like, yeah, but for us, I don't really, it's almost not like that because we're more so, I think, design first. And I mean, I don't want to say quality second because quality's first, but like our passion is in design. So I think our stance that we really want to take in the community and I guess our brand is we want to be artists and we want to, put out cool stuff, not just a bunch of just local teas that seems kind of repetitive. That's kind of just how I feel about it.
Yeah, I mean, and Bailey, I think is talking more what we carry in our store, not who we print for. It's
Yeah.
just more or less like our creative outlet is going to be what we, I guess, have for sale here, in the shop. That just to kind of clarify, because at first I was kind of confused, but yeah.
Right. Like we can't really control what businesses come to us and want to do screen printing orders or design orders, but yeah, for our own things, we like to do more artistic things and make different. I don't even know what we're not sure exactly what we want to make yet, but we're trying to figure it out. Really.
Right, definitely. Yeah, I mean, especially like we've had some new customers come to us and that they might have really really bad logos to where they pretty much say, hey, do whatever you think, and I think we really take well, I guess we get really excited when people say that. I guess it's an exciting thing, but then it's also kind of a worrisome thing because you have no idea if that client is going to actually like your
Like,
artwork. You have to really have a creative brief to make sure that the design team and the customer are on the same page, saying, "Hey, this is what we're looking for." A lot of times we get some jobs that people are like, "Yeah, I have no idea what we're looking for, but this is what I wanted to say." That's always the hardest thing. So kind of moving forward, we want to have kind of an idea of what you're wanting before you really come to us and say, "Hey, I want some t-shirts."
Yeah, and you don't necessarily have to have an idea, but any sort of idea is something. Even if it's just you want you want it to be on a blue shirt. You want to wear blue shirts. That helps a lot more than you think because then
Right.
you know
only colors look good on blue.
right, and then there's also certain styles of logos that look better on blue. Or it controls what you make really.
Yeah, colors definitely give emotion or a tone, I guess. And people don't, like, it's just like a font kind of essentially is every font has its own feeling, and it's kind of the same way with colors. Like I think the color orange, like the meaning behind the color orange is like for businesses is like creativity and like something else. Like there's meaning behind the colors that you choose, not necessarily for your t-shirts, but like I know for us, like again, inside the Vantage brand, our color that we like to use is orange, and that is for like creativity and like stuff like that. So it's kind of just being intuitive with your design or your stuff too. I don't know.
Right. Yeah, and we've actually talked and moving forward, we do a lot of, stuff that might have like the Ohio script or Fremont or let me see, I'm here at the store right now, so I'm just kind of looking, some Fremont Ross stuff, some, our hats and stuff like that, to where we've been really talking, thinking, do we go more school specific or do we kind of go more art that we like and produce smaller runs or what have you. We really think that we might kind of put a stop to doing some of the local stuff to have in the store. We will still do our own local high school stuff to sell, but it's going to be more on like a pre-order basis, kind of how we did the quarter zips and stuff.
Or like an order online type thing.
Right, because I mean, we've all talked about it, and it seems like the only time people are going to buy, their local high school stuff is either one, like an event, or two, back to school or change of seasons. So like, going into winter, you're going to buy more, fleece or jackets or something like that. So I mean, that's just something that we've kind of, brought. That's just like, do we really go and print a bunch of stuff that people aren't really going to come in and buy? So if we do the pre-order, everything's purchased, So I mean, for all the people that are in here, what are your thoughts on that? Would you like a pre-order better? So then, hey, I have these 3 or 4 designs to choose from, and I purchase it and I'm done. It's good to go. Or do you like the shopping experience and coming in and feeling and all that good stuff? I know right now we kind of have, we're kind of the staple to go with like a softer feeling t-shirt, to where we still have the stuff in here and you can feel it, but it wouldn't exactly have your printed design on it.
We got a question from Alan saying, how hard is it to go the direction of homage? And honestly, like, you look at my shirt, I think that's very like homage based. They do a lot of the vintage experience, and honestly, that's something we've kind of talked about in shop too, is kind of playing off the vintageness. I mean, a lot of people think our name is vintage anyways, but it's Vantage. So it's kind of just playing into that. And also, us 3 as designers just kind of dig old school designs, to where I feel like it wouldn't really be out of reach to go like homage direction, but we also want to stay original to what's to us. I think homage just really does a lot of just school WWE type stuff. So
yeah, they're kind of just killing the game really with it, with like college style, like sports shirts, sports themed shirts, with schools, pro teams, and then they've even got, just quotes or like, yeah, like wrestling stuff and stuff like that. It's like hard to just start doing everything like that because they're in Ohio already and they're already known across the country at least. So it's like doing something like them, it's like going to be hard to exactly like them. It's going to be hard to get big, but you could still have that be an inspiration and still do our own thing, which vintage style is in anyway, in all sorts of businesses, regardless of, not even just homage. Like, it's already, it's just in. That's what people like, even with their homes, antique style dressers and stuff like that. So yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, to me, I mean, the homage style stuff, like when that pops in my head, it's super comfortable items. That's what I kind of get out of it. And yeah, their design is more like vintage based. I mean, you come in our store and you look. I mean, it's a lot of the stuff that we have out here is kind of the style of homage, I think. And it's one of those things to where a lot of it's sitting here. Maybe a lot of people have no idea that we even have a store. We haven't really promoted it that much, but I mean, maybe that's something that we do a little bit more of. I'm not.
Well, it also just comes down to the design, like who you're making it stuff for. We've only really made stuff for local high schools and then city of Fremont. There's a few Ohio things, but the Ohio things could sell all over Ohio, but if we don't have them online and pushing online and people don't know we have an online store, then people from all over Ohio aren't going to buy it because they're not coming to Fremont to go shopping, or nobody just comes to Fremont to on a day to go out to eat or something like that unless they're from around here. So with it not being a huge population around us, it's hard to sell a ton of shirts because there's not a lot of people coming in, especially like geared towards high school shirts. It's like people only buy during the seasons, or back to school, or during the winter because they need a sweatshirt or whatever. But that's only a handful of people. It's not hundreds and hundreds of shirts that you can sell that way.
Yeah, and I think that's like what a lot of people kind of, they want to see a lot of the local stuff, but I don't think as far as a like business model, it's very like smart to stock a ton of local stuff just because you kind of just limit yourself in the sense of the only time people are really going to come in your shop and buy is like you said before a game, back to school, this, that, the other. Like you only have your select times where people really are going to pick up that stuff. So I think it's again kind of focusing on a niche or what we're really into or whatever that may be, coming up with a line for a season or whatever, and kind of designing inside of that, and I guess releasing stuff kind of as a limited quantity rather than you know having a bunch of stuff left over, because you can always go back and reprint. You can't take the print off of a t-shirt and reuse it.
Right.
Right. Yeah. I mean, and the biggest thing, what I think a lot of people kind of forget too is, we have to bulk print this stuff, to where if just say we're selling t-shirts for $15, okay, and we print only 24, that's $360 per, I guess, run that's just sitting in our store waiting to be bought. So, if we go and we print 4 or 5 designs, you're looking at a pretty big chunk of change just sitting in your store waiting for people to buy, to where, us moving on to the pre-orders, everything's bought and right online, and we print per the order. So I think that's one thing that we're going to be kind of moving towards. Will we still have stuff in the store? Yeah, of course. Will we do some overruns of some of that stuff? Yep, we'll continue to do that. But I don't really see us doing a ton of run stuff that's just like, yeah, this design's cool. Let's run 100 of these or something like that. I just don't think the market's there. I mean, I've been
Not
in. Go ahead, Bay.
I was just gonna say not yet, at least. Like it, we've only been really a brand for I don't want to say a brand for a year, but in our shop having a storefront for not even a full year yet. So there's definitely room for growth, and growing on social media. I think that's the big thing. Coming out of this quarantine, that has been huge for us as far as growth. Like just this last week, going on and having kind of a new like Instagram strategy has kind of really worked. Just going on and being active in the Instagram community is honestly all I've done, and we've probably grown our followers by 15 just in the last 4 days, which for some people that's a lot. Like, and for others it's not. But honestly, 15 in 4 days is a pretty good number when you have a stagnant social media that's really not moving. So coming up with new ideas to get your Instagram popping again is all worth the while. So I think the room for growth inside of our brand is definitely there. It's just giving it time and kind of having a plan in place and kind of knocking that on the head and just going after it.
Right. Yeah, I think it just definitely needs to grow into that. If we become the spot to go and get all your, Fremont Ross or St. Joe, merch, like, okay, cool. We'll grow into that. But as of right now, I just don't think it's really in the cards for us. But I mean, it's definitely a possibility for us to get it there. It's just, I've walked into plenty of stores, and it's like, you see all this Fremont Ross stuff, and it's the same stuff that they had 3 years ago. And what that's telling me is that's not a popular design, and it's not selling. And it doesn't matter how popular the design actually is. Just, I don't think a lot of it's selling. It's just, like we talked about, it's back to school, it's sporting events. But a lot of people just buy sports specific stuff. And, we've talked about it. If your kid's playing baseball or your grandkids playing soccer, like, you're going to want to support, that sport. You don't want really just something, Fremont Ross generic, unless you're in a pinch.
Yeah, it's likely that you're gonna buy I mean, and we get questions like that all the time. People come in, they'll say, "Do you have any Fremont Ross baseball shirts?" Or like, "Do you have any Fremont Ross volleyball shirts?" It's like, okay, there's 20 different sports. You know, we can't carry a shirt for every single sport. But yeah, so it's like you just gotta like tell people buy your shirt from a fundraiser. You know, if you want a Fremont Ross baseball shirt, the odds are that you know somebody that's on the team. You know, so find out, find out when they're having their fundraiser sale and buy a shirt from them.
Mhm.
Because other than that, it's like people here, you say that we'll come up with a Ross design and we'll print 24 shirts. People hear 24 and they're like, well, that's not that many shirts, like, but it is. If buy 24 shirts and try to find 24 people to buy them off you. It's like, it's not easy to do.
In those exact sizes too.
Then if we go 24 shirts on 10 different designs for Fremont Ross, it's like impossible to move all those. So yeah, it's just hard to keep up with that local stuff because yeah, it's just like I would encourage local people to buy a school shirt from a fundraiser that, because every team does one. Every team does a shirt order at some point.
Mhm. And see, that's kind of how we feel. If you can display the last comment, Dev, about like the 2020 senior skip day shirts and stuff like that. I was actually gonna cut you off, Garrett, and kind of speak on this too. We actually talked about doing something like the senior skip day shirts, but I don't know, we didn't feel right doing it. Just I don't know, we felt like we were preying on a market that is like very heavily saturated right now. Like that, and like I don't know, for me, like marketing, that would be the first thing to think of. And as like for t-shirt companies, I bet probably 10,000 across the country, probably more than that, have hopped on the same thing and are selling the same thing, to where it's like I'd rather focus on what's on growing our brand, on how we want to grow our brand as artists, I guess, and not really having so much of the Pinteresty type designs just circulating. Yeah, it's a quick buck and you can make killer money doing it, but I don't think that's where we really want to position ourselves as a brand. I mean, you guys feel the same way, or how do you guys feel about that?
Yeah, like that's what I was going to say is like when it comes down to it, it's just the type of brand that we want to be, and none of us want to be that kind of quirky, corny brand that comes up with it. Because you could make a killing selling shirts to just say, make a military kind of design or make some sort of 4th of July design. You can sell all sorts of shirts online, but it just comes down to the kind of designs that we want to make. We don't want to make like corny, quirky designs. We want to make the kind of art that we want to make. So
Right.
what it comes down to.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing though. A lot of people think that you can just go, oh, if I sold one of these shirts with this design, I'm going to go back and print it. A lot of this stuff, especially screen print wise, you have to run, so many of them. And the thing is, like with technology nowadays, yeah, we could run Facebook ads, we could do all this stuff, but I mean, realistically, are you going to sell? And I mean, it's so oversaturated that everybody's battling for the same market, to where, somebody that's putting $10,000 into an ad is going to get seen way more than, us locally that's saying, okay, I want to budget $200 for an ad. So, the market's definitely there, but just us as a brand, I don't think we're interested in that. I mean, to me, it's, that's a whole different side of business. That there's people out there that just design t-shirts and they put them up online, and then they have another company that's fulfilling orders one by one by one. That's not us. We're in the art of screen printing and just art in general, and then we're into sports and I guess culture. I guess
It kind of reminds me of that Cafe Press website we saw the other day with those little flip flops. It's like they're just taking every school in the entire country's logo and placing it on all sorts of different items with no special design to it, or they're using the same design for every school across the entire country. And it's like that they all they care about is just making money. They're just trying to make a quick buck off somebody who's trying to buy a Fremont Ross t-shirt, or whatever.
Right.
Like, yeah, it's like that. we're in it we are in it for the money. Like that's what everybody's in. Everybody has to make money, but like we're also just in it because we want to make cool things. Like that drives like 90% of what we do is just because we love doing it and we just want to make cool stuff.
Right. And that's kind of one of the big things now with, getting these new clients, like I said before, that, don't have the best logo, and it's time that they want to not rebrand, but we kind of almost rebrand them. Like I've seen, where people have actually adopted logos that we've done. Do I really like that? No, not really, because we just
your
have the logo and you're using it on all this stuff. But then again, it's kind of humbling. It's just like you like that so much that you want to use it for everything. We did our shop local t-shirts, and I don't know if very many of you have looked, but if you go on the downtown Fremont's social media, like that's their profile picture, is that. And we didn't even do it for downtown. We just did it for all local businesses. So that's really cool. That there's some people that are taking screenshots of these t-shirt designs that we're doing, and they're using them for, their logos. Does it look kind of shoddy on social media? Yeah, it does. But, if you really want that logo, contact us and we'll sell it to you. We'll give it to you in vector format, and you can really use it for whatever you want,
Not gonna kill you on the price too. Like the only reason like we'd sell it back to you is so we're not out of our time. Like that's really the only reason. It's not like that we're trying to hold out on you or anything like that. It's just we put time into it and we have to get paid for our time, especially our work time. So that's really the only reason. It's not that we're like, oh, we're gonna hold this logo from them, blah blah blah. It's time. It's labor.
Right. And I mean, it's honestly, we were talking, it's like $25 or $50. All depends on what it is. I think the 50 was a completely custom, because it goes on the t-shirt. So it's a completely custom artwork. And then for 25, and then an extra 25 if you want that, that artwork or whatever. But I know some people might ask, well, is that any different than somebody coming in and working on, wanting a logo or whatever? I mean, I guess it really depends. When we rebranded St. Joe, like that took a ton of time, a ton of research and all that stuff, to where that is completely separate than what, t-shirt art and all that stuff is. So it's two completely different things.
I guess when somebody comes in for that type of branding, it's more intensive. Like there's
Right.
a lot more that goes behind it. It's not just a logo. It's logo, color scheme, font choice, letterhead. Like there's a lot of things that go into that. It's not just like, here's your logo, see ya.
Yeah.
And
that's also with that, giving the people the file. It's kind of we came up with that idea based off of just how common it is that businesses give you a logo that's not a print ready file. It's not a vector file. They think it is. Sometimes they think it is. They have it even in a PDF or in an EPS. I had a company with James last night from our company that we get our hats made with. He sent me some logos. They had 5 EPS files, and they said they were all editable files. None of them were. They were all raster pictures. So it's like, people think they have a logo that's editable and ready to be printed right away, but they don't. Mm-hmm. So that's kind of where we came up with that idea, was like, look, if you already have a logo made, you're an existing business, but it's not print ready, we'll make it print ready and we'll give you the print ready file for that extra $25 or whatever we.
Right. And then in turn, you can go and you can, get signage made or new business cards or whatever. See, so a lot of times what happens is, these companies need signs. So then they go and they reach out to a sign company. The sign company kind of puts together a logo and all that good stuff. Then they send them a proof. Well, the proof is just kind of like a raster JPEG. And that's what they want to use as the logo. So then they kind of screenshot it and they adopt this whole logo. Well, that company isn't going to just give you that logo. What they're going to do is they're going to print your sign and you're going to be on your way. So, when you go and you screenshot these logos, they're not print ready. They have to be recreated and all that good stuff, to where it takes a lot more time than just putting a logo on a t-shirt and it's done. To where a lot of these designs that we are doing they're all custom. And a lot of people don't understand how much time actually goes into, doing a custom t-shirt, and then you send it back. Oh, no, don't really like this. Okay, got to edit this, send it back. And it just goes back and forth, for modifications. And it does. It takes a lot of time.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I probably spent a full 24 hours of my life recreating businesses' logos that already exist.
Right.
It's like, somebody already made this. Why do I need to make it again?
Yeah. I mean, not to, like, I'm not going to call out any businesses or anything, but I know how it is. And
Right. And most of the time it's not that.
You're stealing your logo that people make for you if you screenshot it and start using it. It's just like, pay the $25, $50. Yeah. If you go through some company that makes a logo, I mean, you can go on Fiverr.com and get logos made for as cheap as $5. Will they be the greatest? No, probably not. But I mean, there's services out there that they'll give you print ready artwork. And that's the biggest thing that I can kind of harp on is, if you're starting a new business, do it right. Get a logo made by a professional, get print ready artwork, and save it on your computer for anything you may need. Because if you're just sending us, JPEGs or, pictures of past t-shirts and stuff like that, which I don't mind pictures of past t-shirts, because you can kind of get it straight and we can recreate it that way, especially if we don't have your artwork. But I mean, if you have a full color logo that's really intense, yeah, having digital artwork is going to be the best way to go.
Yeah. And I guess while we're on the topic of logos, you kind of want to talk about reactive logos, or what was it?
Response.
Logos. Yeah. I guess I'll just kind of take it.
Yep.
So when we say responsive logos, we're kind of talking about a logo that is really big or really long, as like a word mark or something. Say, I guess, Hothead Burritos, for example, if you guys know them. It just says Hothead Burritos and has this little skull guy. For them, like, Hothead Burritos is very long. So when you scale down to really small, you're not going to see it's not going to read Hothead Burritos very crisp, because the smaller it gets, you lose legibility. To where if you have like an icon that, like, kind of, for like Vantage, we have our V. You brand kind of an icon. So for smaller print stuff, it's noticeable, and you have more legibility and can immediately recognize that. Not be like, does that say hot heat? No, hot hit. Oh, okay. And you're just kind of questioning what it actually says. Effective branding is first glance noticing, oh, the Adidas three stripe thing, that's Adidas. Yeah, this was kind of the post that, as we were talking about responsive logos at work, we literally found this while we were scrolling and talking about it. So yeah, this is kind of why responsive logos are important. I can't even read that.
It just says one of the biggest benefits of a responsive logo set is that you can maximize legibility and recognizability. That's a hard word to say. For each size and type of communication for your brand. You also won't have to minimalize the main logo for small usage, because you have a tailored logo for each size. So I mean, if you look at the Walt Disney logo, the one on the left is just scaling it down. Once you get to super tiny, like, you're not going to be able to see it, or see what it is. But everybody knows, obviously, the big Walt Disney one with the castle in the back. Then you scale it down, it's just the word Disney. And then if it's something really small, you have the Disney D. It's all brand recognition, and that's one big thing, that really helps. I mean, same way here. You have it on the top with the circle, then you eliminate the little circle on this one, then you bring it off to the
So-
left, and then you just have the, the interlocking C's. Levi's, same way. This one, it doesn't have the slogan. And then this one is just a smaller version, and then it just goes to, the red little mark. Same thing, Heinz. There you go.
and it's all brands that are big, have these things developed. And when you're setting up your brand or rebranding your brand, it's taking these things into consideration. How can I utilize this for myself? It's when thinking about Vantage, it's you have Vantage with the V under it, and then you have getting smaller, smaller, smaller. You have just the V. Like it's certain things you can think about ahead of time and just kind of establish and start to brand that right away.
Yeah, it's definitely brand identity. That's one big thing. If you want to be recognized, you definitely need to have the brand identity. I mean, Bailey and I were just talking today. We thought it would be really cool to have our Vantage Facebook profile be our circle, our like badge design. Thought it was really cool. Looked at it, awesome. Yep, that one. And then a day goes by and we both kind of look at it and it's just like it's really hard to tell what that is. So in the past months, it's been our orange circle with the script Vantage. You could see it from just scrolling on mobile. You knew kind of what it was because of the orange, and then you seen the word Vantage. So we ended up changing it back. It's just kind of those things that as a brand you have to kind of figure out what's going to be more eye catching.
Absolutely. And I think as times get more modern or adapting to modern times, I guess yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. You have to adapt your business to the modern times. Marketing's huge. 10 years ago, maybe you didn't. Social media wasn't a thing you really had to do inside your business. But now, if you don't have social media, your business is lacking. Like you're missing a huge piece of the puzzle because 90% of your clientele is on Facebook. Honestly, like after this whole quarantine, I think it really made people realize that I have to modernize my business. I have to adapt to the times because these business that really didn't have any communication with their clientele might have gotten forgot about, and those people might not return, to somebody who was posting this entire quarantine. It's just marketing. You got to market for the current times, print.
Yeah. I mean, you and I have talked, Bailey, about, we've kind of figured this out. Instagram is not for targeting your local community. And as much as we've tried and tried and tried, Instagram is just not for that. For us, just looking at our brand, looking outward, on Instagram, we're marketing towards other print shops, making friends with them. They see what we do, we see what they do, and then interacting with other designers. That's pretty much what Instagram is for us. It's not really about engaging the local community and all that stuff. Can it do that? Yeah, of course. But Instagram for us is connecting with artists and other screen printers. Then you go over to Facebook. Facebook is all about community. It's who you're friends with on Facebook, what's going on in your community. Like us, we have the Fremont First page, to where Facebook is where you need to target your audience. Mm-hmm. So we've completely switched it up. Bailey's been absolutely killing it on our Instagram page, getting a ton of feedback, comments, follows, all that stuff, to where, like he said, 10 new followers might not mean that much, but to me, that shows that our strategy is working. Mm-hmm. And if we double down on that, guess what? That 10 turns into 30. Then that 30 turns into 50. And then it just keeps growing that way.
Absolutely. It's just a snowball effect. I mean, social media is definitely one of those things where you have to play inside you have to play inside the algorithm, and understanding the algorithm is the hardest part. And it all just comes down to how much time you're spending on the app and how interactive you're being on the app. Are you interacting with other pages? Are you just posting and getting off? Because if you're just posting and getting off, you're not your post isn't going to get the engagement that you're really wanting it to get. With the Instagram algorithm, the posts it's going to show you are the posts from the accounts that you interact with the most. So say I'm constantly interacting with Lincoln Design Co. on Instagram, which I always am because they're freaking dogs and the design world. But for them, like, they're always at the top of my feed, always in the first of my stories for me to check on, see what they're doing, this or that, the other, because I'm always interacting with their stuff, and vice versa.
It's actually pretty cool. They've been interacting with us too. I mean, they're like for us, like all of us, like they're the top. They're top dogs. I mean, they do stuff for Nike, Mattel. I mean, Hot Wheels, Harley. I mean, you name it, they've done it. I mean, they've rebranded some like Nerf stuff. Like,
yeah,
pretty crazy. Like, especially I'll go into Walmart. We're walking down the toy aisle or whatever, and I can remember faintly they did branding for this squirt gun that actually had a roll of toilet paper on the top, and it would make it wet and shoot like a spitball at you. And I was just scrolling through, and I'm just like, no way that they did that. And I went, looked at the Instagram feed, sure as shit, it's right there, to where that's so cool. And that's where we want to be at. Eventually we want to be doing high-end t-shirt designs, doing some high-end jerseys. We're already doing wrestling stuff for D2 colleges. Next is D1, and then get all in there. And I mean, I think it would definitely take off.
Absolutely. And again, just kind of going back to social media and Lincoln, like, to figure out how to, like, yeah, you can look up all this stuff, but to really figure out what works on Instagram and Facebook, whatever, look what you're seeing. Look what your favorite companies, brands, whatever are doing, and mimic it. If you're seeing them post a lot of memes, and it's Pepsi and they're posting like meme style stuff, that goes to show you that the meme style stuff is working. They're not just going to be posting memes for the heck of it. They're not just some kid on an Instagram account. Pepsi does everything for a reason. Their marketing team puts in the research. Like, Gary Vee on social media, that's one of our, I think, mentors in, I guess, marketing and just kind of running your business and being true to who you are. Like, he's a big one that just kind of puts all his content out for free and then says, hey, look what I'm doing, because I'm constantly testing A and B. This is working. This isn't working. I'm going to adapt to this or that, like trying new things constantly. And you can see right on his page, like, just how it changes from like month to month, what's really hot at the time, because trends are always changing. And that's not just social media, that's design trends, that's food, that's every industry. It's constantly changing. So you constantly have to be on top of it. It's having somebody that's on top of it, that's putting in the research, that's marketing, it will help your brand tenfold if you just pay attention to what your favorite brands are doing and do that. Like,
yep, don't be afraid to copy what they're doing and repost some stuff. I mean, if any of you guys were on our Instagram the past few, or I mean, even Facebook, if you were on there, like, you'll see that we started posting like meme style stuff, because what you have to think about, and we've all talked about this, when somebody posts to Instagram or to Facebook, are you reading what the picture says, or are you reading what
is written
before it? And to me, like, I'm guilty of it. I'm going to see exactly what the picture says, and if it doesn't interest me, I'm not reading your post.
Yeah, 90% of the time I don't read what it says underneath it.
Nope.
Yep.
So if you want to be seen or be heard, have it right in the picture.
Yeah, people don't want to read. That's what it comes down to mainly on social media. It's like, I'm not here to read a book. I'm here to look at things, look at funny things, and look at things that interest me.
And that's what makes video so effective. People aren't there to read. They're there to look at the picture. They're there to laugh. They're there to get out of their reality that's right in front of them. That's why social media is kind of there. So it's reading into
But
that.
down to like the business side of things, to me, I think it's more of like people just like to feel like they know you, kind of like, because everybody is so used to being online now and being able to talk to anybody around the world, and you just like, even if you have no idea who that person is, you kind of just feel like you do because you're having a conversation with them. So when you're following a company that's posting funny things like that, or they'll respond to somebody funny, it makes you seem like they're real. That company's a real person. That's your friend, and that you know them, and that they're funny and they're into the same things that you're into.
Right, 100%. I mean, that's the biggest thing is you definitely want to be, personable. And, to kind of wrap all this up, where we're kind of trying to go, as a brand, and you can walk in our door and we'll hold a conversation with you. It's not, hey, let's take your order and get you out. It's, hey, how's your day going? How do you feel about this whole COVID thing? All this stuff. We're in the business to make friends, to be honest. Like, I want to be friends with every single one of our customers that walks in, because you're giving us a chance to make something for your business or your brand or you personally or whatever. And it could be whatever, but it's something that you trust us for. And that means way more to us than you actually think. Us starting out, we didn't know if we were going to gain traction doing the screen printing stuff. We thought, hey, 4 months out of the year, we're going to have our business, and then we're going to be, sitting on our hands the rest of the time. We never thought that, screen printing was going to take off like this. And it definitely did. So I think moving forward, it's all about our community and our, I guess, our clients and all that good stuff. We want to touch base with you. We're going to shoot you an email, after all this stuff is, or after like your orders picked up and all that stuff, asking, how's it been? Did you like it? Did you not like it? Constructive, criticism, like, let us know, because we want to know if we messed up or if you absolutely loved them. Because a lot of times businesses don't even reach out to you saying, hey, did we do everything okay? Was it as you expected? And that's kind of one of the biggest things that, we want to make sure is we're reaching out, making sure that we're doing our job. Because if we're not doing our job, then you're probably not coming back. And if you are with a current printer or whatever, and you're just like, man, the quality, not really happy there, or I'm not really happy with how these people treat me or whatever, come give us a chance, because I promise you, you're not going to go back. I promise you that.
Yeah. Kind of reading the comments, Jonathan said, I've always said your guys' marketing strategy is strong and awesome to see in a small community. Honestly, thank you. Like, that means a ton. And for those people that kind of think marketing takes, a ton of dollars, we've really put no money into our marketing strategies. We haven't really even ran too many ads on Facebook or Instagram at that. So, everything is really all organic and just trying to, put in the work and grow from really having no budget or having $0 of a budget. Yeah, relationships develop loyalty. I couldn't agree with that more, James. Customer relationships are huge, and I think that's exactly what Devin was just preaching about. Is like, we just want to be personable. We want to know our customers and clients. Like, we want to know what they're working on, what their business is, what their needs and desires are. Because if you can meet that and match that, like, it's going to be smooth sailing, and you're going to develop like that loyalty.
Yeah, definitely. And like in this business, like, a screen printing and just promotional products in general. I mean, t-shirts are promotional products when you think about it. That's like, we got to be friends with every business, or as many as we can, because it's like, you're helping us by buying something from us, or getting us a job, and we're helping you because people are seeing your shirt. If you get a ton of shirts and a bunch of people are wearing them, people see them out and about or whatever, and that it's just like a cycle, because somebody else might see that shirt. They'll either come to your business because they're like, oh, I didn't know there was a drywall business around here, any kind of business. If they see your shirt and they give you a call or whatever, or it'll help us, and they'll say, hey, I'm thinking about getting t-shirts done. Where'd you get your t-shirts done? It's like, it's a two-way road. We help you, you help us. So it's like, we got to be friends with everybody. You just got to be personable like that.
Right, and to be completely honest, I never thought about it like that until now. Like that's mind blowing to me.
Cycle, yeah. It's like the psychology of it. It's just like everybody knows somebody. It's like it's not what you know, it's who you know. It's you see something you like that somebody you know is wearing. You ask them where they got it, and that in turn you go get it from that business. That helps the business out. Everybody can help everybody in some way.
Right.
Yeah.
I
And
would,
I like the point to where you said like it's our brand trying to make your brand look good. Like that's our goal. That's our mission. We want to make you look as best as you can. Like we don't want to just take your money and at the end of the day just give you a shirt with a print on it. Like
Yeah,
that's
that's
us.
the coolest thing
Make-
possible for you.
yeah, definitely. Just got a comment, Jim. Would you guys be able to branch out and do 3x5 flags, possibly with high school logos? Jim, yeah, that is something that we can do. We do sublimated flags, so they aren't double-sided, they aren't stitched or anything. It's dyed right into the fabric, so it'll have a pull strip on the one side. It's either white or black, and then the color of the flag. We actually did some for Fremont Athletic Boosters, I do believe, that had like the big block F on them. They turned out really, really nice. I love sublimated flags because you don't have to worry about the stitches ripping out and all that good stuff. So if you need anything, contact us on Facebook or our website, vantagebrandco.com. We'll definitely be willing to help you out.
Absolutely.
But yeah, I kind of want to just
Brand with a D at the end.
What's that?
And just clarify that's brand with a D.
Yeah, brand with a D.
Not raisinbrand.com.
Right. Yeah, just to kind of wrap this up. I mean, we definitely. I think our biggest thing is we want to make our community visually better. I mean, we kind of noticed that there's a lot of bad logos, and it's not just logos, bad, customer service or bad, print jobs or bad whatever. We just want to make everybody better, and that's kind of our biggest thing. Yeah, that there's 4 or 5 other different print shops that you could go to, and you could go and you could be perfectly happy with that. And you know what? That's great, because this community needs competition to push everybody forward, to make sure everybody's on their A game. Because if you're not on your A game, you're gonna lose, customers. So that's kind of what we like bringing to the table is, we're new blood, so where we're going after all this stuff, and we're not going to actively sit there and try and pick customers or anything like that. We do everything organically. I don't think we've ever really reached out to somebody saying, hey, we'd love to do this or whatever. The only thing that we've ever done is, I think we did a crown battery quarter zip, but that's something nobody else can do, that we gave to, a few people. But I mean, we don't go and hand pick clients. They all organically come through our door or shoot us an email. And I think that's kind of my biggest thing is, this community needs competition, but it needs to be friendly competition. It's not, oh, I hate Juan at Athletic Supply. No, that guy's such a good guy. I almost worked for him before I started Vantage. Benchmark, Garrett and I both came from them. Do we, have bad blood or anything like that? No, I don't think so. But we both went our separate ways, and good luck to them. Phase 1, they're another one. No bad blood there. I hope they do, great things. To where let's all just make each other better. Mm-hmm. That at the end of the day, that's all I want. Make each other better.
Yep.
Do you want to, because I don't know, do you want to go over results for the St. Joe football uniforms?
Yeah. Just off the top of my head, I know that number 1 won. I think that was Devin's design with the fade inside of the numbers. So congrats, Devin.
The Rams.
Two third places in a row to first place.
What? What'd you say?
I said, are you going from 2 third places in a row to first place?
Yeah. Started from the bottom. Now we're here. What can I say? Dude, I'm telling you, the Rams took or saw my St. Joe uniform. They're like, that's hot. Gotta do it. If you guys haven't seen it, the Rams uniforms have that fade in the numbers. So, but I honestly don't like them. It's okay. yeah, I mean, let's wrap this thing up. It's almost about an hour or whatever, but I just want to say thank you to everyone that's tuned in. This is what, 7 weeks now that we've done this, and we've had some really good feedback, and we definitely want to keep this up. I don't know. I mean, I like going once a week, but now that we're, starting to work until 6 o'clock, today I look at the clock, I'm like, oh man, it's 6:30. We got a half an hour to prep for this thing because we've been so busy with these masks. So I don't know if we'll keep doing weekly or not. What's that?
I said, yeah, probably end up going bi-weekly.
Yeah, so something like that. I mean, we're looking to do more podcast kind of style too. We're all in the same room and hashing things out that way too. So
Yeah, we could even just do it the last hour of the day someday. Just start at 5 and go to 6, and
right. Yep, definitely. So there might be some changes. And if you guys have any ideas or want to hear some topics, please leave them in the comments below. We're now starting a YouTube channel. So this is actually the first live that's being streamed live on YouTube as well. So if you ever want to go back and take a listen to this, it is available on YouTube and Facebook. And if you do have YouTube, go and subscribe. And I don't know what all the YouTubers say. Hit the bell, whatever. Like, comment, share. Yeah, something. Hit the bell to be alerted. I don't know. So it's all new to us. But again, thank you so much for tuning in. We're going to get off here. Yeah, I don't have anything else. You guys?
don't forget to mention that we're going to be posting the Old Fort football uniforms.
Yep, that'll be tomorrow.
That will be this week's uniform or whatever concept competition.
Yep. Bailey, you have anything?
No. If anybody has any, I guess, last minute questions they'd like to ask, any brands in here that have anything they'd like to ask, shoot, we're all ears. We can give you any undivided attention.
59 minutes, so we'll give it 30 seconds, and we'll wrap it up right in an hour. So if anybody has questions.
And if you are like a business owner, let us know if this is helping you out. I think that's more so who our lives are kind of geared towards, is helping out these small businesses. And I guess anybody that has a brand business and interested in social media, art, anything like that. I think that's kind of who these lives are kind of geared to. Not saying if you're not any one of those types of people, this isn't for you. But I thank you guys for tuning in. We had one question. I had to miss some of it tonight, but what I heard was interesting. Thanks, Melanie. That means a lot. But
and one last thing before we go, if you personally that's tuned in know any business owners and you think that some of the information that we had talked about today is of interest of them, please tag them below. I mean, that's kind of why we do these lives. We just want to better businesses.
Also, for business owners, if you own anything like that, look on Facebook, Fremont Small Business Owners. Devin just started a new group, just kind of gathering all of the business owners together, so that we can discuss. If anybody has any ideas, just kind of be open to each other. If anybody has anything they'd like to dish, help out with, whatever, hop on there. Fremont Small Business Owners Group, I think it's called.
Yep, that's what it is. All right, well, we're out of here for today. We'll see you next time. Just be sure to look out for the next live post, and we'll see you soon. See you guys.
See ya.
See ya.